One of the greatest myths that I've personally debunked in my own life is that education causes behavioral shifts. Now, right now, I'm wondering how many of you are going, yeah, it does. Well, I'll tell you, the kicker is that as long as education stays up here, as long as it stays as a concept, a theory, a thought, and it doesn't drop down into true action to where then I can incorporate it and it becomes my own personal truth, my own wisdom, then my behavior will not shift. And I can tell you this has been true with so many habits and things that I've tried to implement in my life when I know that, for example, most basic, drinking a lot of water during the day, drinking my 8 glasses of water or 1.5 liters or 2 liters, everybody says something different. But I know that this is valuable. In fact, I went in and had a doctor's appointment a number of years ago, and she used a term whenever she asked me, how much water are you drinking? And I said, not really enough. And she actually got quite angry with me. She said, a lot of people talk very openly about how bad it is to see someone experiencing the consequences of anorexia or bulimia. But people are doing this to themselves constantly when they're not drinking enough water. They're starving their bodies in a very similar way. And while it's not going to be the same mental construct as those diseases, it's the same effects of starving your body of something that is absolutely essential. So start drinking water. She terrified me, actually. When I left, I felt really uncomfortable. And for the next few days, man, I drank my water. And then it tapered off. Because she had educated me. She told me something that in a new way I had never heard before. And it hit me really hard. But I hadn't experienced the benefits. I hadn't experienced, on the flip side, the pain of not drinking that water. And so this is what I mean, that education alone is not going to cut it. That it is about experiential learning. This is what truly shifts our mindsets. This is what brings us from theory into action. This is what takes it from concept to something that is meaningful and movable in my life. So where right now do you have something that maybe it's a big concept? Maybe it's like water for me, or that you would like to be eating healthier, or that you would like to start that book that has been sitting as a pile of notes in the corner for years. Whatever it might be, that you know in concept and you know in theory. What happens when we start to take little steps? In behavioral change, we know that building up momentum comes from actually taking very small steps towards our goal. In fact, steps so small that it actually builds up a little bit of tension because we want to do more on this day. So I've been working on getting a new water bottle. I just purchased a brand new water bottle that just makes me excited when I see it. And I want to fill it up because it makes even a nice sound when you pour the water in. It might sound silly, but that one little step has already started to increase my water intake. Then I'm doing it together whenever I go and I pour water in the dog's bowl. I think it's really important for him to drink. Maybe it's also important for me to drink a little something. I'm setting alarms and little timers, but it's happening tiny step by tiny step. 1%, 5% change. But over the weeks, it is having a massive impact. And now it's going from concept to understanding, because I'm starting to see it in the way that my skin feels. I'm starting to experience how my belly feels better and how my body feels like it's got more resources to work with. So how can you start to take this education into learning and practical application for one little step at a time for some big impacts towards your desires and your goals for this new year ahead?